How? Jonas?
Stop. I don't want to cry. It's happening. No. Hello, my name is Shantel from Shantel is Probably Sorry. The time the reaction starts is in the description. This is the bold type 209 called Trippin. Also in the description is a list of shows I watch, so check those out if you're new here to see what else I do. Subscribe if any of that stuff interests you. And also in the description is an email address for myself for anyone who is at any point interested in owning any of my drawings. Someone has already contacted me about the drawing for the bold type, but there are other drawings, so if anyone's interested, my email address is chantelisprobablysorry@gmail.com. I don't have many intro comments. I only have one intro comment. Well, one and some change. So last episode first, when I was editing, there was the whole I don't want kids thing with Kat said that because of like environmental reasons and resources and everything. Based on other shows I've seen, I kind of was like, oh, I hope that doesn't come back up in the future and cause relationship problems. Because I mean, yeah, I know a ship. Never mind, we're not gonna. I don't know, that just came to my mind when I was editing and I heard that. I was like, oh, I wonder if this is gonna end up causing some sort of relationship problem in the future. But it was nice to hear about the girls and their stances on why or why not they wanted to be mothers. So yeah, to this episode, I don't really know what this episode is about. I did like see it. I know some of the stuff that's gonna happen in this episode, not really, but I saw some clip from some article on Tumblr. I think we're gonna meet a new character that is, I don't know, supposed to be suspected to be gay but is actually straight, this guy. And I think possibly the coke thing with Brooke is supposed to be coming back up this episode, maybe. And based on what I'm looking at now, it's like Kat in that purple shirt from 206-7 from 207 on the day Adina was like, let's open up our relationship. So I'm guessing we're gonna get back on that today. She has so much hair. Gosh, it's hot in here. My cheeks are getting red.
Well, this is a disaster. I'm still light on daytime formal wear. This is why we practice pack. He said red. If you bring more than one suitcase, I'm leaving you a baggage claim. Think you need these? I do.
I'm just relaunching our entire website today, so take your time whenever you're ready.
Okay, tilt your chin down. Lipstick on the teeth.
I'm taking it.
Fromage!
The love of my life.
Take that. I have decided to eliminate comments for all stories going forward. Really? Why is that? Well, they have value, but too often they're drowned out by trolls trying to derail the conversation. And I want our stories to speak for themselves. Only 1% comment. The negative outweighs the positive. Let's move on to editorial. I think the slate is on.
You know
the
what?
heavy side.
Actually,
I'm looking for some fun pitches.
Shorthand. Anyway,
Hello, Mr. Hunter.
I was actually gonna bring that up at some point.
Someone who doesn't work on this floor, you seem to be down here a lot.
I'll remember it later.
I hope you don't mind, but I've researched some of the options you have on the table.
This is, exhausting. Fun things to do when you just can't anymore.
Consider it yours.
It's not so easy. All of this needs to be packed before Oliver gets back.
I feel like I made my position regarding our comments crystal clear. You did. Then why is Richard Hunter bringing it up to me? I didn't mean to go around you.
Days wide open. I grab a beer at JJ Mountains.
Do you want company?
Sure.
Don't. Why are we always pulling such reckless storylines?
I may go to MoMA. Let's see the rest of the hockey exhibits.
I didn't know you saw the beginning. I thought we were going together.
No, I went last Tuesday.
I had a date that night. It's fine, but I would have rather been with you. Just tell me about it later, okay?
Of course. I'm in the studio tonight, but soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Right.
Cello, yeah, pretty basic. It's got
skydiving.
Look, some days you want to talk, other days you want to get drunk and shove a bunch of olives in your mouth, and that's today. But I appreciate your concern.
Don't like olives, so can't relate.
3, 2, 1, we are live!
That was about as eventful as Y2K.
Are you drunk? Huh? You're so sitting in the back.
How'd that happen?
We should celebrate being young.
Oh, what was wrong? Oh, what?
Talking in my sleep at night.
Is there more singing?
Myself crazy. Out of my mind, out of my mind, my love. Gas station roast beef was a bad choice, ladies. I need gum. What? Susan and Marcus, babe. Of course they do. They're bougie therapists.
They're also my parents, though. Maybe it's an Issei.
Is it though? No. I don't believe my parents date.
Frankly, I really didn't. This whole thing, this whole time, is probably gonna get edited out because I'm literally just like staring at the screen smiling. That's it. Nobody wants to see that. And that's why sometimes scenes just get edited out completely. Because it's just me watching. I'm not doing anything.
If I know Babs, she's throwing back G&Ts at bowling league before she goes to the bar. We're gonna get the spare key,
You sure?
certificate, and get the hell out of here.
We're just gonna break in.
Break in?
Yeah,
Jane?
it's a perfect crime, really. Like, it's your birth certificate. You can't get arrested for stealing something from yourself. So we're just gonna find to break the window with, like, maybe a rock.
No, honey.
Wow, I was almost convinced by that.
Do you have a better idea?
Oh my goodness. Wow. Drunk Jane is ridiculous.
Sure your mom's here?
No, but I'm sure she will be at some point.
Is this the guy?
Sorry, this is...
Billy Jeffries.
Billy!
Yes, aka former Mr. Sutton Brady.
Oh, what about you?
Really? A lot of sweaty nights in the back of that van. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I bet it gets quite humid here in July.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really...
So I gotta do sound check.
Okay.
There's a mic still open with your name on it.
Well, like he was dignified. He showed me what
I'm pretty sure that they do all of this singing live. Like it's not pre-recorded. I'm pretty sure the karaoke scene was live singing too.
I love it when people from out of town come in. Really? Really?
This doesn't happen in real life. Gosh.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
You know, he
Hi.
doesn't look like a raccoon to me.
Is she
What
sober?
are you doing here?
I need my birth certificate to start working at Dicey Riley's a few months ago. One way to get free drinks.
I
Hi. Oh, I'm so glad to see you.
had a...
Hi. You must be Jane and Kat. Please stay and have some chicken fingers on me.
Oh, chicken fingers sounds so good.
Good. Jane wants chicken fingers.
I don't care what Jane wants.
She offered. And I really
This
love the
hurts.
munchies.
First of all, part of me thought that maybe she had sobered up and everything. Because, I mean, that's what it seems like. And I don't know. And I think that's why I said, but is she though? When Sutton was talking about where her mom would be. Because part of me was like, what if she's sobered up and everything? But of course, maybe not. Maybe that's the whole issue right there. Gosh, no, this is getting too personal. I'm not doing it. I'm not sure what my face looked like, but I was considering sharing some very... I was planning on sharing some information just now. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Lesbians and pool tables. And there's not a lesbian.
Oh my god. You're holding the cue wrong. I'm just terrible at pool. Let me show you.
I swear to God, this does not happen in real life.
It's like you're sliding through water, okay? Okay.
Okay.
Well, still kind of tacky, though.
Okay. Alright, cool. Fine. Why is everyone verified?
I'm sober now.
I don't need to see another 20-day chip, Mom.
And I am getting a nursing degree.
I need the key.
I've got so much I want to say to you. If you could just stay a little longer, you would see that things are different.
Nothing has changed. Mom, the bar is still playing My Chemical Romance. Let's go.
Are you sure you don't want to go back to the bar? Say goodbye. It's on the way.
I know you think that I'm being really unreasonable, but I have been through this.
At least you have a mom.
I knew
I'm sorry.
something like that was
It's
coming.
true. And I know you're really angry right now and you need to do what's best for you. Maybe you should try again. Trust me, chances aren't things you should take for granted.
I just can't get my hopes up again, you know, because I just can't.
I think you can, because things are different now.
How?
You got us.
Stop. I don't want to cry. It's happening. No.
What is it that you want to say?
I don't want to cry. Stop.
7 months ago, I woke up hungover and I found myself wondering if you were happy because of your friends or something at work or a boy. And then it hit me that if I didn't pull my life together, I would never know the answer to that question. And I found that unbearable. So I left the house, I went to an AA meeting, and I've been going every day since, twice a day.
So you stopped drinking because you saw a photo of me drinking?
Those margaritas look really good.
They were.
So glad we don't want a cucumber here. I really want to be a part of your life again, Sutton. And you have every right to call bullshit, but I promise you something has changed in me.
You waited until I left to try to be one.
Timing never was really my thing. But I am holding it together now, Sutton. For you. And I'm so sorry.
I really want to believe you, but it's so hard.
All I'm asking is maybe you just check in on me now and then. See if I'm good to my word.
I can do that. Also, it's Houston Street.
Houston Street. See, I can change. I'm so glad you came back.
Well, I'm proud of you.
Oh, it's been. It's Jacqueline. We'll be back.
Removing comments cut Scarlett off from the people who interact with the brand the most. I would acknowledge that. Reopen the lines of communication.
I like this
I
song.
think I'm done with the open relationship.
I saw that coming too.
Wow. Where'd that come from?
I saw that coming like when she was on the phone just now.
I miss Adina.
Wait, where's the photo?
It's right here. Oh my gosh, where is it?
It was stand by the wall.
How do I look?
Like somebody going to Paris.
Oh, and Kat, here's your ticket. Decided to freeze my eggs.
Well, that's exciting. I'm glad I could have been of help.
Me too.
It's something I thought would always be fun to try.
Might be something for your list.
But what if we get caught?
I think that's the fun.
Okay.
Okay.
Just you.
You too.
How beautiful.
I love that you gave me the space and the freedom
So
to
pretty.
explore, but created too much distance between us. I missed you and I missed us. Also, playing the field is very overrated.
I missed you too.
Oh, okay, cool. Alright. If I have something to say, I'll say it later.
The studio really was the studio.
What did you think it was?
No, yeah, I mean, obviously it was a studio. Just... You wanna grab breakfast?
I'm going back to work.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. I'll hit you up after.
Okay, sounds good.
There's like some weird disconnect here. Oh. It's not resolved. It's still not resolved.
I thought you knew by now that I'm capable of being more than just your beer o'clock guy.
When you call me Jane, it makes it seem like you're actually serious about me.
Maybe I am.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I shouldn't be doing this right now, but I'm doing it anyway. This is me making more tabs for my book. I just had scissors. Don't make me use my knife. Oh, they're on the ground. Okay, I have some stuff to talk about. I quite liked that episode. I liked it. I liked it. It felt a lot different than last episode, which was very, I said disjunct. I used the word disjunct to describe it. It just seemed so separate from everything that was happening. And someone suggested that that was because of the gun episode. It just kind of moved the direction a little bit, or seemed as though it moved the direction. So now that we're actually getting back to what the storylines were this season, it seems out of place. Okay, so I did like that episode. I cried. We don't gotta talk about it. I don't know why, but when Jacqueline brought up the whole disabling the comments thing, first of all, I was like, I don't think that's gonna end well. But when she was talking about how such a small percentage of people comment anyways, and then, you know, people comment more negatively than positively, it reminded me, like, I was actually considering talking about that very thing, I think for this show, but I can't remember in relation to what. I cannot remember, but I was going to have a conversation about that, how we tend to express our negativity, at least online, or no, how it occurs to us more often to express negativity or more naturally than positivity. And by that I mean, it doesn't always occur to us to say the good things. It doesn't always occur to us to say the nice things we think. But if something is bothering us or causing us discomfort or pain or irritation, we're more likely to express that because there's an issue now. But if there's nothing wrong, it can be easier to forget that you still need to express that positivity. Oh yeah, I remember why I was going to talk about that, or I think. It was because I was going to have my friend on my channel, and I was just thinking about how we met and everything, and how I think like one of the first things I said to her was a compliment, because when I think something nice about someone, I will say it. I will make an effort to say more of the positive things, because of the fact that it's very easy to forget to do that. And I think that we all need more positive affirmations, positive feelings, people surrounding us with good things as opposed to tearing us down, especially if it's unnecessary. But this was a whole issue of censorship as opposed to that, but just the whole so few people comment in the first place. And this isn't just necessarily my part of the conversation that I'm contributing isn't necessarily strictly about commenting online. I'm also talking about how we as people can easily forget to express the positive things. But we also do see that online. I don't know, part of me feels as though the issue of censorship was coming off of the heels of that whole article in New York Times about Jacqueline, you know, declining. I think that a lot of what went on this episode was resultant of that, involving Jacqueline, at least. Jane next. I don't know, Jane this episode was interesting. I mean, it's such a different Jane than we usually see. And though the reasons for her feeling as though she needed to just let loose and unwind, which we need those moments. We all have moments you just can't anymore. It's healthy, not necessarily like to like drink all day, but it is healthy to separate yourself from a situation if it becomes too overwhelming, to allow yourself time to regroup, to allow yourself time to cope. You will burn yourself out otherwise. It's not good. It's not good for you. So in situations where you become overwhelmed, it is a good idea to find usually a healthy coping mechanism. Healthy coping mechanisms: music is a form of meditation. Exercising releases endorphins in the body, and endorphins that make you feel good, and it's good for you. Says the woman who doesn't exercise. Who am I kidding? I'm on my feet 10 hours a day. Writing, drawing, expressing creativity. For some people, it might be watching a television show, finding a medium. Social support is also important. To have a social network that is actually good, who is actually supportive. It's not having friends and having a good support network is not the same thing. A good support network, even if it's just one person, even though it's better to have more than one person, in my opinion. Now we're getting to my opinion. In my opinion, it is better to have more than one person because for me, I always feel as though I've gone through so much shit, and I have had such emotionally complex situations occur that I just felt as though, and I was right, I felt as though I couldn't just rely on one person to share these things with. But I knew from personal experience that I couldn't keep it to myself, because the last time I kept it to myself, really bad things happened to me. To me. Like, that really wasn't a good situation at all. But just every time I felt, you know how Sutton felt when she was like, sorry from overwhelming you with this whole Richard thing. I felt as though I was overwhelming. And honestly, I was overwhelming. And by that, I mean, you know what? Actually, that wasn't my fault. Me being overwhelming wasn't my fault that time. That time, the time I'm referencing that you guys know nothing about, that was not my fault. That was just me having a piss poor social support system. That's what that was. Not my fault you got overwhelmed that time. But generally speaking, I just never wanted to come to one person too often because of how often I needed that support. I didn't want to go to one person that often. That's just too much for someone else. For me, and everything I was going through, it was too much to just shoulder on one other person. So that's why I said, in my opinion, or for me personally, for people like me, you need more than one person. You can't just put it all on one person, because then they get drained, especially if they're the type of person that is affected by how you feel. But yeah, Jane just needed, this is a heavy situation. She's dealing with her future here, and an uncertain future at that. So she just needed to let go. And it was nice. It was nice seeing Katie portray that, and Jane actually had fun this episode. And I mean, cool. It was nice to see. It was really nice to see. And I'm glad she got what she needed. And now she's back to making the decisions that she had to make. She just needed some time. She took that time. It's all good. As I suspected, Pinstripe Guy is back in the, not really back in the picture, but he's, you know, back in the picture kind of. I just really hope that they don't do it how I think they're going to do it, because then I'll be like, ah, damn, I'm disappointed now. But alright, I have an edit involving Pinstripe. And now Cat. That little scream was me realizing that the edit could also apply to Cat. That's how I make up my mind with edits. Like, it just comes to me. I laugh because it's funny. If it makes me laugh, then I'm gonna do it. If it doesn't make me laugh, there's like, why would I do it? But I have an edit for next week. I was going to talk about Kadena last, but I'm going to talk about Kadena now and then Sutton last, because Sutton had the heaviest stuff going on in this episode. You know, the open relationship thing. Kat's sexual discovery and exploration was very important. Considering the timeline of the open relationship, it was, I don't know, the execution was a bit odd, and I understand they only have 10 episodes in a season, which is to be taken into consideration, and it's always to be taken into consideration with shows with such short seasons, like Orphan Black as well. I always take into consideration how short the seasons are when I give criticism. 205 was the dream. 206 was Cat kissing another woman. 207 was like, let's open up our relationship. 208 was nothing really involving that. Did they even mention the open relationship last episode? I know Dina wasn't in the episode. I don't feel like it was brought up. I don't think it was. Maybe it wasn't. I just can't remember it. And then by this episode, they're out of the open relationship, or they close the relationship back up. And I don't know. It just feels abrupt, considering that 207 was when the relationship became open, and now like there wasn't really anything regarding it in 208 and then in 209. I mean, it's cool that she as in Kat, is getting it all together and has figured out exactly, or maybe not exactly, but for the most part, what she wants. And Adina has been patient, maybe in some people's opinions more patient than she should have had to have been. Everyone's entitled to their opinions. Opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. I'm kidding. Though I don't think at all that Adina or anyone deserves to feel as though they're inadequate, whether that be because someone has cheated on them or has made them feel as though they're inadequate. I don't think anyone deserves to feel that based on the person that they're with. However, I don't think Adina ever felt inadequate, and maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed as though, I mean, first of all, Adina seems like the type to understand that it's nothing personal anyway, and it's not because she's inadequate. And based on what Adina said in 206 about how Kat has never explored and it's just been her, and in 207 as well, when Kat was like, I can explore with you, and then she's like, yeah, but it's not the same thing. I think she definitely understands that it's not because Adina, it's not because she is not good enough for Kat. I don't think she deserved the, there aren't people saying that they aren't sympathetic with Adina because of Coco, are there? I haven't seen it. It probably exists out there. I'm still sympathetic. I don't work like that. I mean, very similar situations. They kind of mirror each other, except for the fact that Adina had feelings for Kat. Anyway, I felt sorry for Coco. I didn't hate Adina. And, I mean, in this situation, I felt sorry for Adina. Just didn't hate Kat. I don't know. I can't apologize for what I don't dislike a character for. I can't apologize for not feeling a specific way or for not being angry at something that doesn't make me angry. So I don't know what to say. Regardless of what Adina has and has not done, I don't think that, because she was obviously hurt when Kat told her that, she kissed another woman. And I don't think that she deserved those feelings, regardless of what she has or has not done in her past. Some people may say karma. Okay, if you say karma, then you say karma. And when my friend was talking about like how Adina is so wronged in this situation with those text messages I read in 207, and I said I agree with some of the things, but not all of the things, because I didn't. The reason I didn't agree with some of those things that she was saying is it painted Adina out to be some sort of helpless child or something. And I'm like, okay, well, Adina is an adult with limited options. Definitely, that is true. Let's say they did end up breaking up. I highly doubt that Kat would kick her out. I definitely don't see that happening at all. If it were to ever happen in that manner, I would seriously question the writers, because it's not a Kat thing to do. But Adina is an adult. She made the decisions that she made. She took into consideration what she did. She chose what she chose. She chose to open the relationship instead of breaking up with Kat. And it is more complex than this. Definitely. I'm just saying, it's not as though any of this is against Adina's will. I don't know, she's not a child. She's being very, very giving right now, but like, let's use this one as an example. If in that 207 episode where Kat slept with that girl, whose name I don't remember, the acupuncturist, did they even mention her name? I don't care. I know I've seen the actress in another show before. I can't remember the show. Not Orange is the New Black. Damn it, I wish I knew what show it was. When Kat came home and wanted to keep the lines of communication open, even though it was something that they established that they weren't going to do, Adina could have very easily said, I mean, she did say, I thought we weren't going to talk about it. And then she said, okay, I can handle it. She didn't have to say that. And I say this as someone who has been in this exact situation. I am the Adina here. Okay, I'm not saying this as someone who hasn't experienced any of this shit. It's kind of ridiculous how closely this situation matched my own. This situation is no longer happening. This was a few years ago. It's not as though anyone forced her to make those decisions. She made those decisions. They were her decisions to make. And that is what she chose. Only so much of the blame here can go on Kat. You can't... I think Adina's immigration status does make this a more intense situation, as well as them living together a more intense situation than my own. Core feelings are still the same though. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. We're not gonna act like... Never mind. Last but not least, Sutton and her mom. I can't remember at which point I started to suspect that Sutton's mom was sober, but I think it was at some point during this episode. Oh shit, I didn't even finish my Kadena conversation. I also thought that going to the studio might have been some code for seeing somebody, but Adina was actually going to the studio and actually putting her work in and actually working towards being able to stay. So there still is a form of disconnect happening there. Kat figured that going back to what they used to be in terms of their relationship, closing it up, would help out their communication or close the disconnect that seemed to be happening, but it didn't close that disconnect, meaning there's something else going on. I think part of it is genuinely the fact that the dynamic of the relationship has changed because Adina is now working more regularly. Part of it was, you know, the open relationship. Part of it, I would not be surprised if this were to be part of it, what I'm about to talk about. Adina made her own decisions. I stand by that. However, it is also true that sometimes when certain things happen in your relationship with someone, be it platonic or romantic or whatever, sometimes when certain things happen, it forever changes the way you interact with that person. And it's not even necessarily something that happens on purpose. It's literally, I don't feel the same way anymore. And it actually has something to do with the biological process, where certain types of disappointment, I think, actually affect your biological response to that stimulus from that point on. If you've noticed about yourself that after you get disappointed about something that's, you know, very serious, afterwards you never feel the same way about it again, or you never get as enthusiastic about it again, or if you notice that about yourself, that's probably what I'm talking about. And it's not just disappointment, it's pain in general. So I think that it's possible that because of how Kat kissing another woman made Adina feel, that part of her response towards Kat has changed. I think it's possible. Wouldn't surprise me if they ended up going with a storyline of that nature. Not that she doesn't still love Kat, it's just the interactions are different. I think they still have some stuff to talk about. Certain things, such as cheating, can break trust, depending on, I mean, who the person is. For me, if someone were to cheat on me, I probably wouldn't be able to trust them in the same way ever again. Probably. Maybe in one situation, kind of, that I can think about. No, my trust would be broken. It's just who I am, sorry. It might not be that at all. It was just a thought that occurred to me. I suspected that Babs was sober for a bit. And she actually was, which I didn't actually expect to be right. So I was like, wait a minute, what? And this episode, this was so much. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I have feelings in my chest just thinking about it, just feelings. I can relate more closely to the events of this episode regarding Sutton and her parent. I can relate to it more closely than I care to discuss. You don't know. What was my childhood like? You don't know.
Tragic.
Well,
Well, that facial reaction let you know that it wasn't the best.
It wasn't the best childhood, no. I didn't have a great home life, but...
We don't talk about our feelings.
Nope. Where can I...
start crying, I felt it.
No, I'm not. It's so exhausting. And this is why I definitely understood where Sutton was coming from. I could already tell that Jane was gonna be like, well, at least you have a mom, because she doesn't. Someone's pulled that mess on me before. And I'm like, okay, and... But my situation and Sutton's situations, different situations, completely. I could 100% understand Sutton giving up, and I 100% can understand why she gave up, because it is so exhausting thinking or having hope that something is going to change and then just have it end up the same way over and over again. Things finally seem as though they're going to be a bit better, things have been going well, and then it just goes right back to the way it was, and eventually you just give up. You just give up. And you know what? People who are like Sutton are lucky. People whose people actually turn around. And by whose people, I mean parents, friends, relatives, significant others, whoever it is in the person's life who is alcoholic or in any way abusive, or whose illness causes them to express themselves in very hurtful ways. If you are one of those people who have people like that in your life, or have had people like that in your life, and that person has gotten it together or redeemed themselves, you are very lucky. So lucky, because there are people in those situations who just never do. So it's just, they never do. And so I definitely could understand where Sutton was coming from, and I also could understand where Jane was coming from. And I'm glad that things turned out the way they turned out. I'm really appreciative of that, and I really appreciated seeing that and seeing such a complex relationship portrayed. And I think that Megan did an amazing job. That's one of the first things I noticed. I think it was in the scene where she was in the house talking about the rodents and found her birth certificate. I was about to say birth control for some reason. I don't know. I was going to say, wow, Megan is doing an amazing job. And I mean, she just did an amazing job. And I mean, the actress who plays Sutton's mother as well. They did an amazing job, I think. And so I'm glad that all of this happened. I've been talking for a while. I'm done talking. Okay then. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Be sure to comment if you want to. Share if you know anyone who might like to see this or might enjoy hearing what I have to say. Shoot me an email at chantelisprobablysorry@gmail.com if you would like to own any of my drawings. My drawing for the bold type has already been claimed. Why do I clear? I know I clear my throat so damn much. It's because I have a friend who clears her throat all the time. Oh, that's what I was going to mention. My friends. I kind of did my outro comments out of order because I kept forgetting to say stuff, so I would jump back and forth between talking about Sutton and her mom and then talking about Kadena. And so this is going to come like way at the end where I've already discussed Kadena because I'm going to move the comments around. So this is going to seem really random, but it's not because I was literally just talking about Kadena. And this disappointment and hurt thing doesn't mean that, you know, you don't love the person anymore. Because I don't think that's it at all. If this was to be the case with Kat and Adina, if, you know, that being hurt by this situation is changing Adina's response to Kat, it doesn't mean that, you know, she doesn't still love her. Because I actually just went through something with my friends. I'm about to spill some tea here. Oh, I'm going to get my computer repaired. Oh, f me. What? Yep. That's when I spilled whiskey. I spilled it shit when I was watching that episode of Wynonna Earp. And I spilled it. And when I say that episode of Wynonna Earp, I mean 302. That episode. godforsaken thing. Getting my computer repaired. For the last 4 months or so, I've had to keep it plugged in because my battery doesn't work. Which means that editing is going to be put off. So another week where I don't get it out on time. I'm about to spill some tea, but my friends don't watch my channel anyway, so it doesn't matter. That sounded shady. It wasn't meant to be. So back when I hit 1,000 subscribers last year, I filmed a Q&A with my two best friends. And at some point during the Q&A, when we were talking about ships, Da and I started talking about how we've been shipped. Not just by the people who watch me on the channel, but sometimes when we go out in public, people think we're a couple. I don't know. And so then the conversation devolved into how Da and I wouldn't make a good couple. And we wouldn't. We really wouldn't make a good couple. For anyone who thinks we would. They're right. We wouldn't make a good couple. But the conversation kind of turned into like why we wouldn't make a good couple and the things that wouldn't make us a good couple, which kind of turned into a conversation on what annoys them about me. And I was already salty before we even started filming because I could tell that there was an issue. And so the issue happened to come up on camera. And on my side of it, I don't live in the same state as them. I hadn't seen Destiny in over a year at that point. And, you know, these are my best friends. And I only get down there once or twice a year if I'm lucky. So when I'm down there, hanging out with them is my main priority. Well, I mean, besides with my family and everything, but them actually spending time with me is draining to them because people are different and express themselves differently. And the way I express myself in terms of, I like to hug sometimes. If someone is not okay with me hugging them though, I won't hug them. I literally ask people before I hug them. Like, hey, do you like hugs? Or can I hug you? And if you're not a person who likes hugs, then I won't hug you. So me being physically affectionate and just me being who I am basically doesn't agree with their personalities because they have very similar personalities. They're kind of on the don't touch me wave. Me saying the odd things that I do and me just being me, like the me that you see on my channel, me, just me being me. In the words of Destiny, it's the same things that she loves about me are the same things that annoy her. Like the same things that make me so unique and make me who I am are the same things that get on her nerves when I'm with her. And so I'm like, okay, what? And because on my side, I'm down there, like I'm down here. I'm literally down here. We live over 1,000 miles apart. I'm down here once or twice a year, and you guys don't even seem like you want to spend time with me. I don't even feel like I'm part of this, you know, whole thing. Like, I don't even feel like y'all are my friends. We all had our different sides of this, which all of this could have been easily avoided if, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, because we've been friends for 5 years. No, we've been friends for 6 years, and I moved down here 4 years and I barely saw them when I lived in the same state as them. Anyway, the point is, if anyone had said anything like seriously like, hey, can you not hug me? I literally, like, this whole thing could have been avoided. But because no one expressed their issue with me, it became an actual issue. An issue that ended up affecting me. When literally someone could have just said, I don't like hugs, da 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 da. And because now this whole thing has escalated to a point where now I'm around my friends and I don't even feel like I can be myself because who I am is overwhelming to them. So me coming down to the state you're at and telling you I love you and telling you I miss you and all this stuff is getting on your nerves. Okay, that's just the type of people there are. I was just expressing affection, normal affection, healthy affection, but it got on their nerves. And so now I feel like I can't be myself because it annoys them. And so now I'm up here back where I live and I'm like, honestly, now when my friends say they miss me, I'm like, okay, what's your point? But that's rude, so I don't actually say it back. But I physically do not miss my friends right now. And I love them, I really do. But I didn't get to see them this past June, which means the next time I see them, it'll be a year since I've seen them. And it's been over 6 months and I have not missed them. When usually I would miss the crap out of them. And that's because of how unwanted I ended up feeling and how the whole situation made me feel. And now my response even though I love them a lot and they are still my best friends, my whole entire response to them is completely different now. There's not much I can do about it. I love them dearly, but I don't interact with them the same way anymore because of a situation that could have been avoided. That was just a personal example from my life. Not that anyone needed to know all that. Alright. Hope you all are having a wonderful existence, and I guess that brings me to bye. I dropped something.
But she can't dance.
I can dance. I can dance. God damn it, I got my hair tangled up with my hair. Damn it, again. I know I've been gone a long time, yeah. Back and I want what is mine, yeah. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put it up.
It means well. That's literally what you say about annoying people.
Oh, that's killing you. Fool. Hurry up and do this, because you got shit to do. You know what? The fact that that thing is sticking out, it bugs me, so I'm gonna fix it. But I am slowly getting better ever since a little lady wrote me such a lovely letter. I love pizza, breathing, Santa Claus, and Jesus, and other things that feel really nice to believe in. I don't know the words anymore, but I love you. And I love you. And I love you.
Watching ads if...
Oh, shit. Yeah, I did.
You have cracked the sexual matrix. You should start a cult. I joined. Can't speak for Ben, though. Oh, I'm so weird.
I'm back in what is mine. Where'd it go? Oh, darn, I turned it off. Ah! Bye.